Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon muser today. Today, we are going to be taking, we're doing something a little different, actually. Something we haven't done in quite some time around these parts, and we are going to take a session to run a session 0 and create some characters for a role-playing game. Today, myself and these fine gentlemen will be taking out Chaosium's very cool Runequest Glorantha out for a spin. And yeah, we're going to create some characters. With me today to create characters, I don't have a name for this campaign yet. Normally I like to do the intro for what our campaign is, but I don't know what it is, and we'll find out what it's going to be over the course of character generation. So first up with me, the pending star of this Runequest Glorantha campaign is George.
Hey everybody, I'm very excited to make a character for this game. Obviously it's been around forever, and when I was a kid, if you either play D&D or RuneQuest, and then that would evolve into fistfights over which was better. So
Totally.
curious to find out, I was on the D&D side, curious to find out what all the fuss was about.
I will say that's somewhere, like we do have some folks who some viewers who are pretty stalwart Rollmaster fans. I think people are drawing blades over that comment, but
I'm not saying I was involved.
No, but they may roll a fumble, and if it's Rollmaster, you may trip over an invisible turtle and kill yourself. So
that is true. And I did play
service for the Rollmaster fans out there. Awesome. Next up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm going to be playing some yet defined character, and I'm also excited to try out Runequest for the first time.
Nice.
And tonight I'm drinking the very rare limited edition Woodford Reserve Cherrywood Smoked Barley. It is super good.
Jeff, do you do all the research on these things for yourself, or how do you discover all of this?
Well, I go to like in Manitoba, there's a liquor control commission, and they only bring in certain products. So I always go to their website, see which ones I can actually buy, and then do some research on what's available there.
Cool. I like to go back to the beginning of every video and like get inspiration of what to drink from Jeff.
Yeah. Nice. And last but not least is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen. I am kind of similar to with the Star Trek game. I am here on the strength of Chaosium's other systems because I love Pendragon so much. It's so cool.
No, come on.
I know. Kevin
Really?
Kevin doesn't know that I love Pendragon, but so keep it a secret from him. But I was not around when there were fistfights between RuneQuest and D&D players, but I'm excited to be here and play some RuneQuest.
Nice.
And this is some real epic poetry we're talking about.
Yeah, this is serious Bronze Age epics. It's going to be wild.
Nice. So one of the things that I am, I spent a couple of weeks ago, or it's like a month ago now, while I was on vacation, I took the opportunity to go through the RuneQuest rulebook, or the RuneQuest Glorantha rulebook a second time. I went through the bestiary. I went through a second time, and I did more reading as well too with the the Guide to Glorantha. And I've also I got the Guide to Glorantha since then. Glorantha source book as well. But the thing is and we've all talked about this before we went live too. And this is something they expressly say in the RuneQuest core book, is that I'm going to kind of make it my own. Yeah. So with a setting that is as rich in detail and that has so much stuff, like there are clear right and wrong answers to certain things. And I'm just not interested in running a campaign that is an exercise in canon service. What I want to do is just make this whatever, I want to take the ideas that I think of what, my misreadings or misrememberings of what I read are, and then make it into something that's going to be interesting and fun for all of us. So, and I mean, like, we've all played together long enough now to know that that's kind of how I do things anyway. But for those listening at home, just in the event that I know that Glorantha does have a very, very extensive, extensive amount of reference material and stuff like that to refer to it. But what we don't want to do is we want to have it as a dynamic and responsive game that makes for a really fun, epic experience, rather than an exercise in going through the specifics of the pre-created world. So if you find that things are a little different as we go through this, That's the reason why. And to be clear as well, for those who may not be familiar with the most recent edition of RuneQuest, that's actually advice that's expressly set out in the book. They're cognizant of the fact that this does have a lot to learn. Like even in the core rulebook, there is so much, so many names that are a little unusual. They're not, they're not Western European names. A lot of the stuff is has either very inventive or kind of Bronze Agey Mesopotamia stuff. So anyway,
and then when you add the Glorantha source book and the 800-page guide to Glorantha, I mean, it's
great for inspiration,
pages.
not for actually like looking up the details of what the reality of this is supposed to be like according to the designers.
Yeah, and I guess the thing is too is that the because the Glorantha has been this setting for at least 3 different games, not counting different editions. Because RuneQuest is based in Glorantha, HeroQuest is based in Glorantha, and 13th Age has a version that's set in Glorantha as well too. It has different ways. I think each of those games, because they have very different mechanics that result in a different play experience at the table, they show you different versions of that. RuneQuest is the earthiest version of that. It is the grittiest kind of version of this game. So with that in mind, what my thought was, and we talked about this before we went live, but it's worth just canvassing again. A lot of other games are really kind of like, just it's more the party. I mean, we always do some character, focused stuff, and there's some good role playing and whatnot. This campaign is going to be particularly character focused. I really want to. The reason that we're all playing characters from the same region is because I want those connections there, and we want to be able to play up that connection as your characters grow and become heroes.
And I think that seems like one of the strengths so far in my reading of the game and the way it's designed. So I'm looking forward to creating characters because you're developing those relationships as you kind of go along.
Totally.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Like I've only made one character so far with Brent when we weren't streaming, but it was cool. Like it was just it really clicked to me then of like, oh, this is why people love this game. It's in the same way that the first time we made characters in Traveler, I was like, this is why this game is so fucking popular. It's so fun to do this.
As long as you survive.
You can't die. Mongoose in Mongoose first, Mongoose second, you cannot die during character generation.
I think that's a smart move.
Although they have in the new Traveler Companion, they introduce Iron Man rules. So you can.
I just got that. That just arrived. So, perfect. Now I can kill some people during character creation. Excellent.
Oh god. Okay, so let's very briefly, for those who may not be familiar with RuneQuest. So RuneQuest is a game that is because Jeff, I don't think you know anything about this game, right?
Not really at all.
Okay. So RuneQuest is a game that is set in a Bronze Age culture. So like there's a couple of ways that this specifically differs from your typical like D&D fantasy setting. One of them is the tech level. This is a Bronze Age setting. This is closer to the like Greek city-states, or the time of the Persian Empire or something like that. Like this is a classical period, not a European period. I think that it's not even quite as it is probably as technologically advanced to a degree as what the Roman Empire would be, like early Roman Empire, but not where we're playing. The setting of our adventure in this place called Dragon Pass is really more like city-states than it is there is another empire that's out there, but it's evil. They're yeah, I mean, they're pretty fucking horrible. So that's what the sort of nemesis to your type of character is going to be, that really like the biggest, baddest civilization on the planet, or not. And that's actually worth segueing in. So one other thing that RuneQuest plays up is the idea of the classic myth, where this is a world where it's not subject to Newtonian physics or to the real world, physical laws that we have. This is a world where like the moon and sun and whatnot move across the sky because they're gods being chased or something like that. Gods, both great and small, are all very, very real parts of this world. the cosmology that is set up in RuneQuest in terms of like the magic and the interaction with spirits and whatnot too really informs the setting, like the mechanics of the game for how you summon, and interact with spirits and how you can get power from them. Like, the gods can be as grand as like the things we see on the screen here, where there are a number of the different signature gods that are patrons for the people of the Dragon Pass. They also can be, there can be a god of a certain, military detachment. There can be a god that, presides over a certain bend in a stream. They can be found all over the place. And part of the one core part of the character experience in this is you derive some of your power. The thing that sets you apart from everybody else is the power you've gained from like swearing allegiance to one of these gods. Mm-hmm. And I guess the other thing is that runes are also a significant part of RuneQuest. Huge shock, I know. But runes are effectively like the symbols, they're symbolic representations of the fundamental forces of, mythic creation. And you gain power and by basically like by tapping into those different runic powers. And even the gods are subject to those. Gods have alignments to certain runes. We'll go through those as we go through the character creation, because it actually does a pretty good job of explaining the setting and the whatnot as we go through character generation. So I don't want to jump too much into that. But that's the basic setting. Like that's what we're going to be creating is characters. And we're starting with your grandparents. So we're not starting with, we start first with your grandparents, and then we'll work our way forward. I see we've got some names, though, now, guys. So for those listening at home, this is not something that's encouraged by, what do you call it, by the game necessarily, but Traveler encourages you to pick your character name before you go through the life path system, and this has a life path system as well. And I think I really like that. Like, I like the idea that you pick the name and then work your way through. Go ahead.
Well, it's not just a life path system for us. It's a life path system for our grandparent that we identify most closely with, and our parent that we most closely identify with, and ourselves. So it's a multi-generational life path.
No, and but more to the point is that it's picking the name beforehand, so we know who this character is. There's something, there's an old joke in Community where what's his name's character. Joel McHale's character talks about like, this is why we're human, is because I can tell you that this, this pencil's name is Jeff, and now you die a little bit inside, right? And that, I like the idea of having the names on beforehand. So we have, guys, what are your character names here? I'll go left to right again.
So I'm Jarang, potentially with additional names after that as we go. We'll see.
Yeah. And Jeff?
I'm going to do something I don't do very often and play a female character, and my name is Vasana.
Nice. And Arlen?
And I am going to be called Hereward.
Nice.
Because there's an interesting one of the things that as this game has developed, it has moved between kind of more Eastern and more Western influences. So I thought it would be interesting to have characters who represent sort of those different polarities as well. Hereward is a very Germanic name, and so it's from the sort of more Western influenced period of RuneQuest, versus Jarang and Vasana both, to me, sound more like Eastern influenced.
I agree.
Names.
Yeah, I would agree.
Cool.
Okay, so guys, let's talk about your homeland here. So I'm looking at page 24 of the core rulebook. You guys are from Sartar, and Sartar is the default homeland for adventurers. It's a mountainous kingdom made up of storm-worshipping hill tribes united by the royal house of Sartar. Sartar recently liberated itself from the Lunar Empire, and in doing so began the Hero Wars. It is now ruled by Kalar Starbrow and is a hotbed of magical questing, petty feuds, and would-be heroes, and that's heroes with a capital H. One of the first things you get from your culture is your cultural skills, because you guys are all coming from them. Cultural skills for Sartar are on page 60. Jarang, maybe change your character sheet to have your character name on it. I'll also open these up here too.
Sorry,
yeah.
No, I forgot to do that.
Are you the test one, or are you one of the other ones?
I haven't even tried anything.
Claimed one.
so,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll just pick one here and fix that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess you're going to be on skills. Skills, perfect. So you guys can see that Sartar gets bonus to skill. Oh, sorry, to ride. Any one ride skill, to dancing, to singing, to speaking your own language, which is Hjortling. To speak another language, which is trade talk. The customs of the Hjortling people. You get to spirit combat. I mentioned that spirits are really a prominent part of this, and that pretty much everyone will be interacting with them to one degree or another. And the spirit combat is when a spirit, like anything really, like a wraith or an elemental or a ghost or whatever, tries to, or a god tries to interact with you in the kind of spiritual plane. That's how you struggle with them.
So we should be putting these in the second column?
So allies, yes, it's the second tab, and that gives you all your...
no, but like in the second column of the...
Under the skills is the first, it's like, for example, it says boat, and then it says there's two sections for putting values in, it looks like.
Yeah, right. So that's what I'm asking Kev, like, which one should we put? The second one? Or...
let's see, can you do this first? I honestly don't know.
Okay.
That first one may be the base that everybody.
Oh, you know what it is? I can no. It's the first one, because the second one will be your stats will give you modifiers for each of your skill categories. So it'll go in the leftmost column.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, because like your agility, communication, each of those categories, depending on your stats.
So we should increase what's there. Like if there's a 5 there and we're plus 5% ride, I should change my ride to 10.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Cool. As we're doing it on these, awesome digital versions of the character sheets, I have to just point out something, which is like they have these full color character sheets that just look gorgeous.
Yeah.
And as do the books.
Yeah.
They did a great job, I feel like, with their art.
The books are, and it's worth, where is it? I'll grab my...
I'm not a paid spokesman for Chaos. I purchased every one of these books. They're just so awesome.
They are incredible. One, and the bestiary, I just want to get the guy's name right. I think it's Cody something or other. Where is it here?
So in this case, speak own language, it says that we have 50, so it would just stay at 50. We don't have 100, or we do have 100?
Just stay at 50.
Stays at 50, yeah. It just tells you what language it is. It's Hjortling.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then the other language we can speak. Oh, I see. The other language we can speak is called trade talk.
That's correct. Yeah.
Got it.
And yeah, other language starts at 0. And then make sure to add your cultural weapons as well.
Oh shit! Whoops.
Yeah, we're going to go step by step all together, guys, to make sure if we make mistakes, we'll make the same ones, or we'll catch each other's mistakes.
So now customs Hjortling, do I replace customs local or customs other?
You could replace that with local. Right? Because
so
your
local becomes Hjortling.
Hjortling, yeah, because that's your local. That's where you grew up, was in Sartar, which is the Hjortling culture.
So that's the problem when there's so many names like this. It's like...
Yep. But it's one of the things, like I said, like over the course of the character generation, it does a really good job of like slowly introducing you to the conflicts and the setting and whatnot. The name I was thinking of for the bestiary is Corey Trego Erdner. And he's the one, like, they hired one guy to do all the art for the bestiary, and I think it is the most beautiful bestiary I've ever owned. That's like awesome. The art in here is just incredible. It's so, like, it's not photo real, but it's that very, very stylized realism. And it's just, wow, really easy to picture, what your world looks like.
Yeah, they did a great job. I mean, if anybody takes a look, like, if you go to their site and kind of look through the PDF images, some of the images, you'll see it's awesome.
Well, you also get Corey's on Twitter as well too, and he posts tons of his art on there. I'm kind of a sucker for art, so that's where.
Yeah, well, the screen is awesome. That full length image on the front of the screen.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Okay, so has everyone entered their cultural weapons and their cultural skills?
No, I'm slow. I'm sorry.
So it's all wait.
I don't want to
I
delay.
haven't done the cultural weapons yet.
Okay.
Just finding that dagger. Okay.
And then to roll, we just click this little symbol.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try it. So
Sure.
there we go. I failed.
Wow.
Roll, but I only had a 25% chance of succeeding, so it's not.
Hey. What do you call it? An artist doesn't blame his tools.
Is the battle axe the one-handed axe or the two-handed axe?
Say again?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Battle axe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not listed as battle axe under melee. It's listed. There's either one-handed axe or two-handed.
Let's check the weapons. Weapons are near the back of the rulebook, I believe. Nope, they're in the middle. So battle axe is either one-handed or two-handed. Depending on which way you use it.
Okay.
You know, one of the helpful things of doing this or streaming the character generation too is whatever we fuck up, hopefully someone will tell us.
Yes. Yeah, please do.
We learned a lot going through streaming the Traveler character generation. We had some people who were like, "That you missed that, and that wasn't right." I'm like, got it. Next time.
Yes, that's super helpful.
Okay.
I'm almost done.
Nice. Also, this game has Bison Riders in it, which is a major plus for me.
Yes, I know why too.
Yeah.
I've gotten a history lesson about your province.
I'm this far from being that guy who like gets into conversations with people in line at the grocery store. Did you know that? Leave me alone. Don't make eye contact with him.
That's right. Oh, here he comes. Okay, I've got all mine in.
So then you also need to put in your first 3 passions.
Hold on.
Oh,
we're going to do... Yep. We're going through one at a time. Once everyone's finished a step, then we'll go on to the next thing.
Okay.
I want to have fun and roll something.
What's that?
I'm going to have fun and roll something, see what happens.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do we roll? Where's the...
You hit the
little symbol.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I'm going to broadsword something.
Nice.
Spirit combat.
Nice.
Arlen.
Right.
I know.
Doesn't look that hard.
Or you got it out of the way. I mean, you know.
Okay. Has everyone entered their skills and whatnot?
All of it, yes, cultural skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff. Yep. Great. So then, guys, next one is page 27. We're adding your homeland's base passions. Your passions are going to be important because this game doesn't have a meta currency. At least at default, it doesn't. I might adapt the luck stat from Call of Cthulhu to do that because I do like having that currency, but we'll see. What passions are is one of the things you can tap into to get benefits to your dice rolls. You have to do it beforehand. So, like, let's say you've got as Sartar, you guys have love of your family, loyalty to your clan, and loyalty to your tribe. So, if, say, a member of your family was like threatened by some degenerate, mutated brew, you may, try and draw on your passion for your family, your love of family. You make a roll, and then depending on the result of that, it'll have an effect on your skill roll. Your runes you can tap into like that as well too. So it's kind of a cool way of getting you to gamify some of your personality traits.
This is one of the things I really liked about this. My understanding is this is new to Runequest. I watched an interview with one of the designers, and I love it. I thought that was one of the things that really attracted me to it.
My understanding is that it is a mechanic that actually comes from Pendragon and has been put into this system.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Well, it's neat because I know
so
that
where do we add this?
This will be on maybe your third.
The first tab, the main tab. And then if we got halfway down, you'll see passions, and you have to click plus to start adding lines.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you replace the word passion with, love, family.
Yeah.
Oh, I see here. Passion.
Okay, now let's take a look at where. Let me see something here. Family. Oh, great. Great.
What?
Okay. Once you are finished, Jeff, let us know, and then we will pass. We'll go on to your most significant grandparent. Yeah, it's neat. Like you do go through an awful lot of stuff in this process, and you can really, go to, chase the rabbit hole or chase. That's not a saying.
It is now.
It is now. Oh my God! You can really, go down the rabbit hole for this and really flesh out like an entire family worth of people. I'm not particularly interested in doing that, just because I think that I want to know something about your most significant people, but I don't want to be cluttered with your family tree.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right. So the next thing we got to do, guys, is we're going to start learning about your family. So we're on page 28 right now, and what I'd like you each to do, and we'll start with you, George, once you've made your decision, is for your pick your the grandparent that was most significant to your adventure or story.
Okay, so I'm going to start with in this case, I'll do my grandfather.
Grandfather, okay.
Yeah.
Then would you kindly give me a D20 roll?
Alrighty.
Let's see what his occupation was. 13. He was a hunter.
Hunter.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
So you're going to record that on the family tab.
Right. Okay. Here we go. Yep. Got it.
And then, Jeff, which was your most important grandparent?
My grandmother, and her name is Laika.
Nice. And then give me a D20 roll, please.
She was a
11.
healer. Cool.
And Arlen, which is your most important grandparent?
I'm gonna do my grandfather and then my mother as my important parent.
Okay, well, let's start with your grandparent.
Yes, grandfather is
one thing at a time, but I know you want to go through this.
I'm just so excited.
I know. You know what it is? You have Brent to thank for us going through this one by one, because past experience.
Arlen just has more energy than
he does. People. And it's because the enthusiasm for the game is certainly no fault, but we want to make sure we're all going through this. If we're either making the same mistakes or we're all correcting each other's mistakes here. So, priest, your grandfather was a priest.
That's cool.
That's interesting. Okay, now then, Arlen, you are up first. Let's talk about your grandparents. So we're going through the roll of years now. We're starting at 1582, which is when your grandparent would have been 21. And what it says is that in this year, guys, King Tarkalor and his wife, the Feathered Horse Queen, went to war with the Lunar Empire to aid the old Tarshites, aided by Praxian and his Rolian mercenaries and volunteers. The Red Emperor personally led the Lunar Army, and when the armies met at the Battle of Grizzly Peak, the Lunar Army swept the field with their vastly superior magicians. Both King Tarkalor and his queen were killed. A special note, your parents were born this year. So let's see here. You are from Sartar. So Arlen, give me a D20 roll plus 5.
Yep.
25. So your grandfather was present at the Battle of Grizzly Peak. He was a priest. So give me a D20 roll plus 5. 11 plus... Oh, that's 11 total. So let's see here. If Lunar Tarshite, which is not, your grandparent was killed by lunar spirits. Gain hate Lunar Empire.
Oh, cool.
So add that as your, and then when you are adding passions,
it starts at 60.
60%, yeah, or plus 10% if you get a new one. Okay, so Jeffrey, it was your grandmother or grandfather?
My grandmother.
Grandmother. What was her profession again? Farmer?
She was a healer.
Healer. Right. Kindly give me a D20 roll. Let's see what happened to her. D20 plus 5.
So the +5 is because they were more likely as
Because they were from Sartar, yeah. Because Sartar, like all those Sartar, the Grayslands, Old Tarsh, they all got annihilated at that. 10. Whoa! But your grandmother was not present.
at the Grizzly Peak battle.
No, that's interesting. So then I wonder. Let's see here. The next step is the Battle of. Oh, it's only if you go to the thing. So I guess you don't roll on that.
Yeah, that's my understanding. Like basically,
Yeah.
some years you actually participate in the events, and some years you didn't.
Some years you don't. Okay, so then I guess your grandmother was aware that they were crushed at the Battle of Grizzly Peak. Durang, D20 plus 5, please.
Alrighty. 20 plus 5. 21.
21. They were present, and then yours was the hunter, right?
Yes, that's right.
Your grandfather was hunter. Okay, so it's a 1d20 flat.
Okay.
Let's see here.
14.
Oh, your grandfather was killed by lunar spirits.
Damn.
You also gain hate lunar empire. All right.
Okay.
So,
Being a theme here.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are fast forwarding now by 15 years to the year 1597. In this year, lunar assassins killed members of the Sartar royal house in the Holy Country, and many got entangled in the cycles of murder and vengeance. Now, Jeff, as the only person with a living grandparent, I think you're the only one rolling here.
Okay. So just it's a flat D20, I think.
Let me see here.
But not a noble or a priest.
That's right. Yeah. Although, yeah, you're not a noble, or they weren't a noble.
From Sartar, not Grayslands, Old Tarsh, or Prax.
Yeah, it's just flat D20.
Flat 20.
Let's see here. 16. Wow. So she fought in the Holy Country and survived. So she's getting to live to a ripe old age of about 36.
Because she was smart and avoided the big battle.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so the next
smart move.
Our next is 5 years later in the year 1602. And this year, the Lunar Army invaded the kingdom of Sartar with great success, although at high cost, seizing the supposedly impregnable capital city by force and extinguishing the flame of Sartar that united the legendary kingdom. Sartar gets plus 10 to the roll. So go ahead and give me a D20 plus 10, please. Or D20 plus 10, yeah.
And this is to see if you were in this battle.
Let's see if your grandmother was in this battle.
My grandmother. Yeah.
Yep.
She was.
She was, okay. Bold Home campaign. So then she's a priest, and she is from Sartar, so it's 1D20 plus 10.
No, she's a healer.
Oh, yeah, right. She's a healer. Forgive me. Okay, yeah. So then 1D...
So it's plus 5.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Here we go. Big money.
All right. I haven't figured out if I'm supposed to be rolling high or low on these yet.
I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, it's random.
Yeah.
21.
She died with great glory at the Battle of Bold Home. So gain honor, passion, and devotion deity. So you gain honor and devotion deity.
So where do I add these things?
You add those. Those are your passions.
Oh, these are more passions?
Yeah.
More passions, and they start at 60.
So at 60%. You also, could you give me a D3 roll, please?
Wait, sorry. I have honor.
Do you have hate Lunar Empire yet?
No.
You also gain that because you're Sartarite.
And that's also a passion?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the passions have so that you can have loyalty or love or hate. There might be others. I don't know. Oh, honor.
Honor is just by itself?
Yes, that's sort of like your own personal honor.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, for anybody trying to make their characters at home, they do have these like sheets, like worksheets online that you can get to like record all this info.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And and hatred of them goes also into the passion.
That's right. Yeah. Because you can draw, like, as we play through, you can draw on that passion, as a way to boost your, what do you call it, your chances. There's a thing that's random causes of death that I fucking love in this too. So great.
Any game with random causes of death.
Hell yeah.
Right up Kevin's alley.
Okay, and so now I roll 1d3%?
Yeah.
What the heck's that?
Well, it'll just be 1d3, and that'll be a percentage.
That you add to your reputation.
I see.
Like if you've got a storied lineage, right? Like if your parents and your grandparents are super famous heroes, you're gonna have a shadow, of their legacy cast over you.
Ooh, the full 3.
Nice. Your reputation is 3. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
So where is reputation?
Reputation is maybe on the first page.
Yes, it's on the first page at the top, Jeff, on main.
Okay.
Kind of in the middle of that first little section.
Okay. So the year of your character's birth is 16. Where is it here?
Oh, there. I see 3.
1604.
1604.
Yeah.
Okay. So your parents, it says that they typically have the same profession or occupation as your grandparents, but you can choose to do differently. You guys see your characters carrying on with the same profession, or do you think they went into something different? And you're going to pick one of the two parents to be the more important influence on your life.
Okay.
I'm going to go, or whoever can go first. I don't know what order we're going.
I forget which direction we're in. Already.
We're at, I think Arlen is going next.
Okay, great.
Okay. I'm going to have my mother take up the mantlehood of the priest position, continue on with the lineage of my grandfather.
Okay. And Jeff, what do you think? Did your parent carry on with the healer or not?
Yes.
Yeah. And George?
Mother,
Yeah, she's going to continue in
As a hunter?
her father's, as a hunter.
Cool. Love it. Okay, so then, because I like this bit too, let's quickly just let's meet your parents first, and we're going to come back and do the parental siblings thing. Because I think that's really interesting, especially paired with the causes of death. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so if your parents are married, they would have been married by the year 1605. Gloranthan societies recognize many different kinds of marriage, including year marriages, marriages intended to last only 1 year, which can then be renewed, polygamy or polyandry, marriage to more than one partners, and long-term marriages intended to ally two clans. So next what we do is, so your parents, let's see here. Okay, so after your birth, we go to your parents. So we're starting with the year 1605. So this is the year after your birth. Yeah, because you need to actually be alive. Okay,
Right.
So let's start with you, Arlen.
All right.
So it's the year 1605. This is what, your mother or your father?
This is my mother, so I'm D20 minus 5.
D20 minus 5.
For being a Sarkarite. 13.
So she fought in the Faint to the Sea campaign. Give me another D20 roll, please.
what page are you guys on?
Page 32.
Damn it.
19.
I think she died.
She killed at the Siege of Kars.
Because it says to start your parents' history on page 33, doesn't it?
Well, no, that's where your parents' history start, but we can choose to start them the year after your birth, or we can start 7 years after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So your mom died at the Siege of Kars.
Yep.
Brutal. Now, Jeff, let's your what do you call it? It was your mother, right? Who's a healer as well.
Yeah.
Give me a D20 roll -5, please. Let's see, 10. Roll again on the interim years event. Okay. Give me another. Your start rate, a D20 +5, please.
Where's this table?
On page 31.
Oh, okay. Previously.
Yeah.
Roll 20. Did you say
She
plus
wasn't-
5?
Yeah, so she wasn't caught up in the major events of the thing. 21. Killed by a rival tribe. So you gain hate other tribe as a passion. Okay. And then George, since we're having such a, your parents are dropping left and right, we'll do both parents. And
Okay.
that gives us a chance to randomly generate the occupation for your other parent too.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Okay, and then George, so let's would you kind of give me a D20 -5, please?
There you go. Wait.
-2.
-2.
Totally normal year.
All right. I lived.
It's the living parent. Ooh. So let's keep following through. I mean, the odds can't always be in your. Is it your mom or your dad?
That was my mom.
Your mom. Your mom's favor. So let's fast forward 3 years. You are now 7 years old. In the year 1600. So actually, I didn't say either. The year 1605. So the year after all of your birth, a major thrust by the Lunar Army to invade the Holy Country, striking at heavy populated Esrolia. Countering with magical strength, the god king Belentar stopped the Lunars by inflicting a decisive and humiliating defeat. But then 3 years later, the Lunar Empire invaded Prax. The Lunar Empire hopped from oasis to oasis, but was raided and harried until it accepted peace before being allowed to enter the Paps. Despite propaganda, this was a nomad victory. Would you kindly give me just a flat D20 roll?
This is me.
Yes, please. Yeah, you're the only one. Quick, hands up. Who's still going to survive your mom?
Oh, right. Yeah.
But Kev, it says participating homelands, Lunar, Tarsh, and Prax.
Which one? Sorry.
Oh, no,
yes.
that's just.
So doesn't that mean that we skip this one?
Oh, you do. Yeah, you do. Just mean, yeah, Prax.
Oh,
So it'll be 16. Oh, so we'll apply that roll to. It'll be +5 is 16, 13. +5 is 8. Normal year. So once again, another boring year. You're just hunting. She's staying out of the.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Next is the year 1619. The Lunar Army invaded northern Hendriking lands and took the city of Kars. King Broyan of the Hendrikings retreated to the fortress temple of Whitewall with his companions and withstood every lunar attempt to take the city. The Crimson Bat is sent to Dragon Pass to strike fear into any who would rebel against the Emperor. And the Crimson Bat is fucking bonkers. This is the giant demon spirit that is the Crimson Bat, as illustrated by Corey. Look at that thing.
Oh, that's awesome. So.
Yeah, the terrible thing, the reason that the Lunars are awful is that they're super chill with chaos, which nobody else is. And the Crimson Bat is like their symbol of we're totally cool with chaos. So it has a whole bunch of eyes and like snakes growing out of it and weird maggoty stuff on it. And
they also have a like the reason they're able to extend their power so far out is they basically have kind of like a magical like internet that extends out, and it makes their zone of control incredibly more powerful. So their magic becomes more powerful.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's why it's like the defeating them and throwing them back from Dragon Pass was such a big success, because if they extended their power over, it turns the magic in their favor. So speaking of that event, though, this is where the Crimson Bat arrived. This is the year 1619. Star target's +5 to the roll. So George, give us a D20 +5. I
had rolled that D20 for that week.
Oh yeah, this is your normal year. Yeah.
So it'll be 3 + 5, so it'll be 8. So
yeah, normal year. So then 1620. Let's see. This is again the Lunar Army decisively defeated the Malkinwall army in battle and accepted their surrender. The Hendriking king and his companions held out at Whitewall, defeating every lunar army thrown against them, including the Crimson Bat.
Cool.
So a D20 roll.
Flat.
No modifiers.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. 14.
Fought in the Hjortland campaign. Okay.
Cool.
So give me another D20 -5, please. Let's see what happened to her.
-5. -4.
Devoured by the Crimson Bat.
God damn it.
Her soul no longer exists.
Wow.
Gain hate, chaos, or hate lunar empire starting at 70%, or add plus 20% if you already have one of those.
That's cool. I'm gonna take hate chaos.
Nice.
That'll come into play a lot more often.
Oh, that's great, because I have I'm not sure if you've read the story of the brew in this. The brew are fucking awesome. It's like if you took the what do you call it, the Beastmen from Warhammer, like from Warhammer Fantasy, and then you injected a just amazing body horror element to them. It's so good. Yeah,
cool.
I love them.
That's
okay,
awesome.
so we have finally chased down. I mean, we've learned of this tragic loss of George's character's mother.
Yeah.
Let's now start back at the top. So Arlen, we learned your mother's fate already, right?
Yes.
Let's go through and learn your father's fate as well. I know this means this will result in slightly buffed passions, but I don't really fucking care. So let's start with you are from Sartar, the year 1605. I think it's the year your mom died, right?
But by the way, the passions can be used against you too. So
yeah,
it kind
totally,
of balances out. So
well, and passions, I'm not really fussed. Like that's not minus one. A normal year. Okay. So a normal year when your mother. Oh, first off, give me.
I need to determine his occupation.
Yeah. Flat D20 roll, please.
A 1.
1. He is an assistant shaman.
Ooh,
and your mom was a priest, right?
Mm-hmm. That's probably how they met.
It's pretty dope. Okay. And then the year. So now so it was just you and your dad, the shaman, or the assistant shaman. Give me. Let's hear. Not 16. I think 1613 is the next one. So you would have been 9 years old at this point. D20 plus 5. 21. He fought in Starbrow's rebellion. So let's talk about this year. Outraged by the lunar presence and urged on by social unrest, the Sartorites rebelled in strength and temporarily expelled the lunar army. The Lunars regrouped and under the leadership of General Fazur Widered soundly defeated the rebels. The Red Emperor appointed Fazur Widered as the Governor General of Dragon Pass. So give me a D20 roll plus 5, please. 8. Survived. Okay, so he fought in Starbrow's rebellion, but managed to survive. Now we're going to fast forward to the year 1619. So this is 6 years later. The Lunar Army invaded northern Hendriking lands and took the city of Carson. The Crimson Bat is sent to Dragon Pass. So give me a D20 roll plus 5, please. 19. He fought in the Hendriking campaign. Another D20 roll, please, just flat. 13. Survived as well.
Excellent.
Wow, interesting. So then next up is a year later when they Lunar Army defeated the Malkinwall army in battle and accepted their surrender. But the Hendriking King held out. D20, no modifier. 19. Fought in the Hjortland campaign. Now a D20 minus 5, please. 8. Survives! Faced the Crimson Bat and survived. Very cool. So the next up is the year 1621. A giant's cradle floated down the Zorafel to the sea. The Lunar Army's attempts to seize it were thwarted by its defenders. After more than 2 years of siege and tremendous cost in blood, treasure, and souls, the sacred fortress of Whitewall and its Orlanthi defenders fell to the Lunar Army. The gods Orlanth and Ernalda were proclaimed dead, and the great winter came to Dragon Pass, the holy country, and Prax. The Red Emperor decreed a full year of celebration. So, would you kindly give me a D20 minus 5 roll, please? The fall of Whitewall. So he was in the fortress. D20 plus 5, please.
I wonder, because there was the whole description of the attack on Karse, and that's where my mother died. I wonder if he went south to try to, live out something with regard to that.
Well, he's fought in like almost every major battle and somehow managed to survive.
And he survived.
He survived. He survived the
Wow.
Battle of Whitewall. Wow.
The fall of Whitewall.
Wow. Which means
gets to retire.
You should retire them with dignity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
my father, the assistant
Still
shaman,
alive.
still alive.
pretty cool. Okay. What was his name?
Heraheim.
Can you spell
Like
that for me?
Herehim.
You have to put sorry. You have to put it in chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I had a full day of questioning today, so my listening skills are not great.
Like that.
Awesome. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Cool. So we know he is still there. That's interesting. So let's go back now, guys, and we'll go back to actually, Jeff. You've been sitting there being pleasantly biding your time. Let's talk about your other parent, your father. Would you give me a D20 roll, please?
All right. What does he do?
He does.
He's a warrior.
He's a warrior.
Nice.
A healer and a warrior. Interesting. Okay, so let's start off with his first year, 1605, when you're 1 year old. When your mom was eaten by Jarang's mother.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So it's a D20 minus 5, please. For Vasana. Okay, 2. Normal year. Okay. So then we fast forward to the year 1613. This is the year that the Sardarites rebelled. One of the first rebellions, unsuccessful. Would you kindly give me a D20 plus 5 roll? Let's see what happened to your dad, the warrior, in this year. 13. Fought in Starbrow's rebellion. Interesting. D20 plus 5 again, please.
I should just have the dice roller open because it has repeat roll.
It does, yeah. Let's see what happened here.
There's already connections starting to happen.
Oh, 18.
Aided Collier's Starbow's escape from Sartar.
Nice.
Loyalty Sartar and 1d3%.
Didn't you already gain reputation too?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. So give us so you gain loyalty Sartar at 60%, and then also roll D3 and add that to your reputation.
1.
1. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So
then we follow him on to the year 1619 when the Crimson Bat was sent to Dragon Pass. Give me a D20 plus 5, please.
Just 1 second. The loyalty of Sartar.
Sartar.
Okay, and then it is 1d20 plus 5.
Yes, please. 11. So he died of other causes that year. So give me another D20 roll, please.
Random cause of death.
Yeah, I'm looking at page 35 here. So what caused his death this time? 17. Old age or illness? Well, I mean, he wasn't very old at that point, so I'm guessing it was illness. He took ill and died. Here's an interesting thing about this. Illness in this game is caused by evil spirits. Like, because it's a spirit-filled world, it's not bacteria or infection or whatnot. It's specifically evil spirits. So your father has met his end. We'll take a moment, have a moment of silence for your poor, dead, sick dad. Jarang, you want to meet your dad too?
Yes. Let's
A
do it.
D20 roll, please.
Alrighty. 19.
Thief! Awesome.
Well, that's interesting.
Dad wasn't terribly reputable. Okay, so let's start with 1605. A D20 minus 5, please.
That's 5.
14. He fought in the Faint to the Sea campaign. D20 again.
Okay.
The flat D20. 15. Survived. So he fought in the sea campaign, but survived. Then next up is the year 1613. This is when the Crimson Bat arrived. A D20 plus 5, please.
This was a bad year for my family, so let's see what happens.
This is where your mom. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! He fought in Starbrow's Rebellion, so that's good.
Cool.
D20 plus 5 again, please. It's when the 23. Your dad was outlawed by Lunars for 1d6 years.
Oh shit! Well, that makes sense. He's a thief.
Do you have hate Lunar Empire already?
I do.
So plus 10%.
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, wait. What year is that again?
That was the year 1613.
Okay, cool.
So I guess roll a d6.
Well, actually, the next year is 1619 for Sartar. So even if you roll a 6, I mean, if you want to know it just for flavor, feel free.
Do it. Never let flavor just sit on the table.
Yeah, no, exactly. Okay, so what am I rolling? A
D6 to see how many years they.
Oh, yeah, that I was.
Yeah. How long was he a thief?
Yes.
Or outlawed by
and
the.
Actually, I have a character question here.
3 years. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Were you with him while he was outlawed, or were you separated from him for 3 years?
When did your mom died at the eaten
by
by the
Crimson Bat in 1620?
Okay, so yeah, was he with mom or with?
I think he stayed with mom, and he hated the Lunars for incarcerating his dad and didn't get to see him for 3 years.
Yeah. Okay, so the next is the year 1619. Would you kindly give me a D20 plus 5 roll? 11. He died of other causes in that year. So on 35, give me a D20 roll, please. It's flat. 18.
Killed by a monster.
Nice. Killed by some kind of monster. That's cool.
What monster? What year was that? I mean, sorry.
1619. That's when the Crimson Bat arrived. And somehow, so you lost that, and then 2 years later is when you lost your mom, right?
I think it's the next year. I think you're 1620.
Oh yeah, next year. Jesus.
Oh man, I had a bad couple of years.
Rough couple of years for you. All right. Hereward, let's we haven't met your other parent yet, have we?
Yeah, we did.
We did both of mine.
Oh, have we done everybody?
Yeah, we've done everybody.
Awesome. So now we're on to our hero's adventures. So now starting at the age 21. Now let's see here. 1 second. I want to check one thing here. I'll check one thing. A thing. Okay, so you don't need to actually pick your career yet because it doesn't affect any of these roles. So first up, Arlen, so the year 1622, when you have become, you are 17 years old, the Red Emperor appointed Tashius the Bright as the Lunar Governor General of Dragon Pass, replacing Fazur Widered. King Broyan reemerged, and his Hendriking tribe rose in rebellion, joined by many volunteers. Hordes of scorpion men emerged from Larnt's footprint, serving the chaos demigoddess called the Queen of Jab. The Great Winter continued until the Battle of Auric Hills, when Broyan's rebel army ambushed and defeated the Lunar army by partially reviving Orlanth and Ernalda. The pro-lunar queen of Isrolia was overthrown in a coup d'etat, and civil war erupted in that land. So, Arlen, for this year, let's start with you. 1d20 plus 5, please. 20 on the nose. You fought in the Battle of Auric Hill. Nice.
Excellent.
Kindly give me a d20 plus 5 roll. 9. You survived, gained battle plus 5%.
Excellent.
Pretty awesome. I mean, good that you survived. Maybe you can die.
I don't think you can, because there was a special thing that said if you roll a death thing, adjust it so that you nearly died of something.
Right.
So I don't think you can actually die. But
okay. So then for that year, the year of the partial revivification of Orlanth and Ernalda, Jeffrey, let's check out Vasana. D20 plus 5, please.
Okay.
We go 13. The Great Winter Year 2. Interesting. Okay. Now it's just a flat D20 roll, please. 5. You nearly froze to death. Give me a D6 roll, please. Let's see how you kept alive. Cannibal. No. Murdering and burning of enemies. Gain hate. Another clan or another people. Do you have a hate of another clan already, or is that?
I have hate of another tribe, but not clan or people.
Yeah, because I think tribe and clan is different. So I guess you gain 60% hate of another clan, and we'll figure out who that is or another people by murdering and burning them. Wow, fucking baptism by fire is taken after your dad by there. Okay, and then for Jarang, D20 plus 5.
All right. There we go. It's 21.
21. You fought at the Battle of Auric Hill as well.
Cool.
D20 plus 5 again.
Okay, there we go. 7.
7. Survived battle plus 5. Same result as Hereward.
Cool.
Interesting. So we know both of you guys were there at the Battle of Auric Hills.
That's cool.
Maybe you met.
Maybe.
Okay. And next up is the year 1623. A new Azrolian queen gained a new ally when King Broyan and his ragged army of volunteers arrived and defeated the Graysland Horse Army. The Feathered Horse Queen was killed soon after by her own bodyguards. The Lunar Army arrived in Azrolia and besieged Queen Samastina and King Broyan in Noshet. In the north, a gigantic swarm of trolls, trollkin, insects, and darkness creatures crossed Dragon Pass en route to the Castle of Lead. Let's see what happened to you guys. It's just a flat D20 roll. We'll start with you, George.
Okay. Oops.
Let's see what happened to Jarang.
17.
17. Fought in the Siege of Noshet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sartar gets plus 5, so D20 plus 5.
Okay.
8. Survived. Add plus 5% to battle skill, and you're going to take part in the Battle of Pennell Ford in the following year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll come back. We know what you're doing next year.
Okay, cool.
In the battle. Vasana, D20 flat, please. Let's see what happened in the year 1623.
Just a normal year.
Normal year. Okay, so nothing interesting. And then Hereward, what did you get up to that year?
And she's boring.
Trolls. No,
Civil
trolls.
strife. Okay, another D20
Civil
roll.
strife. 20.
20. You were nearly killed by elder race, dragon newts, dwarves, elves, trolls, or tusk riders. Pick one and gain a hate elder race. So if you want trolls, you were saying trolls.
I know. I was hoping that I was going to get hate trolls, so I'm going to do hate trolls.
Nice. Okay. Then we turn on to the year 1623. In this year, a new planet called the Boat Planet appeared in the sky, prophesizing doom and change. Harek the Berserker and his wolf pirates arrived in the Holy Country after circumnavigating the world. They allied with Queen Samastina and King Broyan and routed the Lunar Army at the Battle of Pennell Ford. During the battle, Orlanth was freed from the underworld, and the constellation called Orlanth's Ring appeared with additional stars and quickly rose to the top of the sky. After the battle, Harek's companion Argrath, a Sardarite from New Pavis, traveled with a small group of followers to the border of Sartar and Prax and summoned the Praxian demigod Jaldan Golden Tooth to recognize him as the White Bull. That winter, Harek and Broyan sacked the City of Wonders. That same winter, Humakti killed the lunar client King Temertane of Bold Home. Okay, so this year we know who are we on? We're on Hereward now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so give me a D20 roll.
D20, no modifiers. 19.
Fought at the Battle of Pennell Ford again.
Mm-hmm.
D20 plus 10, please. 20. Fought with great glory at the Battle of Pennell Ford. Gain honor or devotion deity and add plus 10% to battle. And gain 1d6% reputation.
Okay.
Pick whether you accompanied Argrath to Jowlin Golden Tooth summoned, or aided Harek the Berserker in sacking the City of Wonders?
Okay, I do devotion Orlanth because I like Orlanth.
Okay. And plus 10% to battle. And give us a D6 roll, see how much reputation was gained. Big numbers, big numbers.
2.
2%, okay.
That's all right. And then I'm going to follow Argrath.
Argrath to Jowlin Golden Tooth summon, nice.
Yes.
Then give me a D20 roll, please. Let's see what happened there. 20, nice. You killed a member of your tribe who opposed allying with the White Bull. Gain loyalty White Bull at 70% or add 20% and modify loyalty tribe by minus 10%. Oh, sorry, and modify, sorry. So you don't have loyalty White Bull at this point, so I guess it's White Bull at 70%.
So I get White Bull, and then I get rid of some loyalty tribe.
Minus 10% to your loyalty to your tribe. And you gain 1d6 percent reputation again, and you will take part in the liberation of Pavis in 1625.
Excellent.
Pretty cool.
And
All
how
right.
much reputation?
1d6, please.
1d6 again.
Here we go. 4, nice.
Nice.
Okay. And then Jeff, was Vasana the one who took part in the battle, or was that Durang?
Oh,
That's Strang.
Durang, okay. Then Jeff, kindly give me a D20 roll, please, just flat. 11. Random boon. Interesting. So, another D20 roll, please. $11 again. You gain the favor of your temple. Gain loyalty temple. So you got that at 60% as a passion as well. Interesting. And then Durang, we know you were at the Battle of Pelennor Field as well, right? Or Pelennor Ford.
Yes.
Pennell, not Pelennor.
Whatever.
Settings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So D20 plus 10, please.
All right. 16.
16. You were nearly killed in battle. Plus 5% to battle and gain a distinctive scar.
Cool.
Excellent. All right. The next up is the year 1625. This is our final year, guys. This is the current year. With the White Bull Society behind him, Argrath liberated Pavis from the Lunar Empire and was proclaimed King of Pavis. Argrath led his Praxian allies to Dragon Pass, but was defeated by lunar sorcery and returned to Pavis. At the same time, King Broyan was killed by lunar sorcery. The Lunar Empire gathered thousands of magicians, priests, and nobles to consecrate the new temple of the Reaching Moon and extend the lunar glow line over all of Dragon Pass. That's that magical network I was talking about, Jeff.
Yeah.
A group of Sartorite hero questers led by Kalar Starbrow invaded the lunar ceremony and summoned a true dragon beneath the temple. The dragon devoured the temple and the attendees in minutes. Most of the military and magical might of the Lunar Empire in the provinces was annihilated. The true dragon then rose into the sky, revealing its impossible size. It was several kilometers long. It flew up high into the middle air towards the red moon. Millions of observers across Genertala witnessed the event. Those in Peloria, Ralios, Kralorilla, and the far west saw a dragon-shaped cloud obscure the red moon. Those closer saw and heard far more. Across Dragon Pass, ancient draconic powers and thoughts quiescent since the empire of Worm's friends were awakened. In the lunar capital of Glamour, the Red Emperor sacrificed much of his magic and power to drive the dragon back. The true dragon spiraled around Dragon Pass, circled Mount Caro Fin, and then returned to the huge crevice it had made where once stood the new lunar temple. Kalar Starbrow marched on Boldhome and proclaimed herself Prince of Sartar. A lunar Tarsh army led by General Fazur Wide-Red, indecisively fought the Free Sartar army. The Lunar Tarsh army retreated after Fazur learned that King Farandros, king of Tarsh and Fazur's nephew, had murdered many of Fazur's kin and supporters while the mighty general was away campaigning. General Fazur returned to Dunstop and gathered allies. In Old Tarsh, the Shaker priestess appointed a new king of Wintertop, rather than allow Fazur's son Onjur to become king. And that is where we find ourselves now. So let's find out what happened this year. Who did we leave with? Did we leave with Durang?
Yes, Durang, yes.
Durang, you don't have a set thing, right?
Correct.
It was Hereward. Hereward was with the Liberation of Pavas, right? Okay,
Yes.
So Durang, give me a D20 roll flat, please.
Okay, here we go. 6.
6. Witness the dragon rise and survived. Gain fear dragons.
Cool.
And you are a Sartarite, so you participated in the liberation of Sartar. Give me another D20 roll once you've added that.
Okay. 2.
2. Nearly killed in battle. Again, add plus 5% to battle and give yourself a distinctive scar.
Is this that's the liberation of Sartar or sorry,
Liberation of
which one is it?
Sartar, yeah.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay.
And another scar, man.
Another scar. Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Vasana, give me a D20 roll, please. 4. Witness the dragon rise and survived. Gain fear dragons. And you also participated in the liberation of Sartar. So once you've added that, give me a D20 roll, please.
See if I actually did anything.
Mm-hmm.
So far, it's been pretty boring.
16. You witnessed Kalar Starbrow acclaimed as Prince of Sartar in Boldhome. Gain loyalty Sartar and add plus 5% to battle.
I already have loyalty Sartar.
Then it gets plus 10%.
Okay.
And then plus 5% to battle. And finally, Hereward. Let's see what happened at the Battle of Pavas. 1d20 plus 5, please. 23. Nearly killed or temporarily driven insane by lunar demons when the Praxians came to Dragon Pass to destroy the new lunar temple. Gain hate, lunar empire, and add plus 10% to spirit combat.
Cool.
Okay. So then, next thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to pick runes. So the first thing we need to do is let's add the, we'll have to pick the 3 runes. So the sort of descriptions of the elemental runes are on pages 48 and 49. The 4, sorry, this is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elemental runes. Well, here, guys, I like this because this was rather than trying to like min-max or whatever else or think of mechanical things, let's think of personality. So the darkness rune is characteristic of hungry, secretive, and large adventurers. The water rune is characteristic of mercurial, changeable, and quick adventurers. The earth rune is characteristic of practical, worldly, and sturdy adventurers. The fire/sky rune is characteristic of pure and intellectual adventurers. The air rune is characteristic of violent, passionate, and strong adventurers. And finally, the moon rune is characteristic of mystical and magical adventurers. The moon rune, though, I should say, is most strongly associated with the Lunar Empire. So, you guys need to pick 3 of those. One of them becomes your primary, which is at 60%. One is secondary at 40, and then the third is at 20. And then the other 3 ones are at 0.
And we automatically, being Sartar, get 10% to the air rune, or only if we choose it as one of the 3?
No, you automatically will get that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the runes are one of the most interesting things about the game. To be honest, there's a lot of really neat bits to this game too. So, and again, like rather than trying to like pick, things to suit your like, I think it's more interesting to just pick the personality stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think is your most strong characteristic, your secondary characteristic, your tertiary characteristic, and then the rest will just be by default at 0. You guys, let me know when you've finished selecting. While you're picking that, guys, I'll be right back.
So
I'm
just
grab
before
some
we
more
go
water.
right up front, right? So we do 1 at 60.
Yeah.
60, 40, and 20.
Okay.
It's a tough one. I actually picked Moon as my 20 because I hate them so much that I want to know more about them so I can.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say my strongest feelings are hate for the Lunar Empire and loyalty to the White Bulls. So I'm not gonna do any moon stuff because that's for lunars. I'm gonna do air and fire and water.
That's cool. I'm definitely doing air, and I think I'm doing water as my other one.
Well, yeah, and air is super because that's super Orlanthe to be air.
Yeah.
Okay. Has everyone picked their runes?
Yes. And then should we add the starter bonus at this point?
Yeah, once you've selected your runes, and then once you're all selected, let us know which. Let's talk through which ones did you guys pick.
Okay, Arlen.
Arlen, you're first.
Yeah, so I did air, fire, and water. I balanced it so that my air and my fire are both at 50 and my water's at 20. So I am a sort of powerful and violent figure, but I also believe in things like the truth and all of that. For fire.
One is at 60, one's at 40, one's at 20.
Yeah, but
when you add the 10%,
fire should be at 60, not at 50. That's
right.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, that makes sense now.
But yeah, air was 40 up to 50. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I was wondering why the one was 50 or both were 50. Okay, cool. So your strongest is which one?
Is fire.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So pure and intellectual. Cool. Vasana.
I chose air, darkness, and water.
Whoa, nice. What about Jarang?
I chose in order air, water, and moon because I hate them so much that I needed to know my enemy.
I love it. Okay, so then next up, guys, is the power or form runes, and these ones are paired. They're all kind of like binary relationships in them. The relationships are harmony and disorder, stasis and movement, truth and illusion, fertility and death, and finally man and beast. There are other runes but that affect other things, but these are the ones that you as a human have. They start so those two things in total must equal 100%. So let's see here. Choose 2 affinities to start with. Okay, so here's what you got to do, guys, is 2 of those will be at 75-25, and then the rest will all be at 50. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking on page 50. That's where the relationship between the 2 are.
Yeah.
Right.
And so to be strong with harmony is to put the welfare of oneself, self-defined community above one's own. Whereas to be strong in disorder is to place one's own welfare, advantage, or pleasure above all others. Next, to be strong in the stasis rune is to be resolute and unchanging. To be strong in the movement rune, its contrast, is to be changeable, energetic, rebellious, and ambitious. Next, to be strong in the truth rune is to view the truth as something objective and outside of individual biases, interpretations, feelings, and imaginings. To be strong in the illusion rune, its counterpoint is to distort truths or fabricate untruths for one's own ends or on behalf of others, or in some cases simply for the sake of doing so. The next pair, fertility. To be strong with fertility is to enjoy the pleasures of the flesh, most notably sexual desire. To be strong in the death rune is to separate oneself from the material world and seek to deny or even destroy the world of the senses. And the last pairing is man and beast. To be strong in the man rune is to be civilized, settled, sociable, and ethical. To be strong in the beast rune is to be bestial, Savage, Feral, Wild, and Untamed. So remember, 2 of those will be at 75-25, and the rest will be at 50% to start.
And the cool thing is I'm noticing on the sheet, as soon as you
It's
put one value in,
yeah.
it automatically, it's great.
Awesome. So let me know when you guys have selected, and you can tell us what you selected.
I'm ready when
So
everybody else is.
Yeah, I have selected. I have selected Truth and Movement.
Which one is 75?
Both of those are the ones at 75. Their pairs are at 25.
Oh, okay, sorry. Truth and Movement.
The Truth rune at 75 versus Illusion at 25. Movement at 75 versus Stasis at 25.
Interesting.
I picked Harmony as one of them because I really value my people and hate our enemies. And then the other one I picked for 75 was Stasis because I am very committed and dogged in my relentless obsession with making sure I deal death to the Lunar Empire.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Vasana?
Vasana has chosen Death and Illusion.
I love
Man.
it. Okay, so now, guys, you can distribute another 50 points among your rune affinities. But just remember that if you raise one of the power or form ones, the other corresponding one goes down. You can raise them to a maximum of 80%. So go ahead and distribute those 50 points, and then we get to generate. Yeah.
I feel like there is a big mechanical aspect to some of this at this point.
Yep.
Can you give us any hints about how to use these 50 points? Do you know enough about the game?
No, I do know it's really going to, there's so many moving parts in it that it's, it's hard to pick. Well, I guess here's the one thing I'll say is, it's hard to build a broken character because we're all new to the system. It's better to kind of make those selections and then see what you're optimized towards and play that character. And then the way that XP works in this is you get advancements in skills and runes and whatever else by doing things. Mm-hmm. And when you do them, you get to advance them. So you're free to explore the character to go on from there. But for the purpose of this first character, I'm not sure it's really important to pick an ending point and then build the character towards that. And there's also, like, every single one of these things has cool stuff to it.
Okay.
So
what I meant more is, like, should I make sure that I have, like, 10 in fire, 10 in earth, add something to man, spend the points like little bits of 10s and 5s.
Remember that how
heavy dump something, and really,
one way to think of it is remember how these are going to be used, right? Like, one of the ways we're going to use these as motivation or inspiration or whatever they call it. You're going to use your runes and you're going to make it, these are all percentile, so it's percentile dice you're rolling. You're going to roll against that. If you succeed, or the degree to which you succeed, is what's going to provide you the bonus to your related skill roll. So the higher those are, if you could spread a bunch around, but you're going to be kind of like literally master of all trades, but or jack of all trades, master of none.
So it's better to probably, if you're really into something, just dump in it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's sort of better to lean into a concept than it is to sort of spread around. You can do that, but just numbers wise, it means you're going to have a not great chance at doing a lot of different things rather than being particularly strong at one type of thing.
Right.
Does that help?
Yep.
Okay. You also use your runes when you are using either runic magic or spirit magic. Oh, you don't use runes with spirit magic. Sorry, you use your power when you're doing that. Okay. Has everyone spent their points?
Yes.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, guys, we are on to rolling characteristics.
Do you want
love it
to tell you how we spent our points, or do you?
Yeah, if you want, go ahead.
Okay, so I boosted fire and air and truth at the expense of illusion, and I put a little bit into man because I think my character is ethical, and that was one of the things that stood out to me about the man rune.
Love it. Okay,
that's cool. I boosted air and water and moon, and then I gave myself some more harmony and some more stasis.
Nice. How about you, Vasana?
I just leaned hard all the way into darkness for 40 points. And then I increased death and illusion all the way up to the max of 80.
Amazing.
Oh.
That's awesome.
She is
darkness, death. Love it.
Well, her mother was killed by another tribe that she hates when she was like 1 year old. And then her father was killed when she was like 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah. Okay. So Now what we're going to do, guys, is generate characteristics. And why don't we just do this? Everyone get ready. Let's do the 3d6 ones first, then we'll do the 2d6 plus 6 ones, and we'll go in order. We'll do it the same way we did the other things. Let's start with Arlen.
Okay.
We're going to do your strength first here.
Strength first. 3d6?
3d6, please. Yeah. 13. Nice. Oh, and you guys might want to open up the dice roller because you're rolling over and over again. That might save you
Also,
typing time.
If you click in the chat and just press the up arrow, it'll give you your last roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Okay, so your strength is 13. Jeff, let's roll yours. What's your strength? 8. Nice. Durang, what's your strength? 7.
Okay.
Wait, do I change my original or my current?
Your
Original?
strength original.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Next up, Durang, roll your dex, please. 3d6.
Alrighty. 14. Okay.
Better.
Okay.
Jeff, what's Vasana's dex? 11. And Hereward's dex?
9.
All right, what's Hereward's con? I got a better feeling about that.
Yeah. 12.
Not bad. Vasana's con?
Yep.
10. And
Wow.
Durang's con?
Boring.
9.
Okay. Next, Durang's power?
Okay. 11.
11. Okay. And Vasana's power?
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
If the initial result
It's
is
dead very quickly.
okay, roll again for a character. We'll go through the characteristic rolls later. There's a way of avoiding shit rolls.
yeah.
Hereward, your power 10, and then last, Hereward, what's your charisma? 7. Oh, Vasana, what's your charisma? 6.
Jeez.
And Durang, what's your charisma?
12.
12. Okay. Next, Durang is 2d6 plus 6 for your size.
2d6. Here we go. 8.
8. Oh, no, 2d6 plus 6 is
Plus
14.
6. 14.
Yeah, and then Vasana, 2d6 plus 6 is for your size.
6 plus 6.
Let's see. 12, and then Hereward, your size?
18.
18. He's a
Wow.
big one.
Wow.
And then please roll that again for your intelligence, Hereward. 11. And Vasana, 2d6 plus 6 for intelligence. 15. Wow. Smart. And then
Nice.
Durang,
Also 15.
15 as well. Nice. Now, guys, first off, if the total of all of those is 92 or less, you may allot up to 3 more points to your characteristics if you want, wherever you want. So total up your characteristics, see if it is 92 or less.
Holy shit. You could have said less than like 60 for me.
Yeah, I've got 82.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's see here.
Sure. 11, 14, 12. Yeah.
I think I have 68.
Okay, here's
80.
a couple things we didn't do here. Reroll. So here's some things. It's perfectly all right to do these things. Reroll any die result of a 1, and I think some of you guys got 1s in your characteristics.
I got
Okay.
a lot of ones.
Yeah. Discard an adventurer whose characteristics average 12 or less. Roll again for a characteristic if the initial result is 6 or lower, and none of the other characteristics are above 13, or use some other method. So let's see here. Who has... how many characteristics do you have that are 9 or less there, Hereward?
9 or less? I only have 2 9 or less.
How much? Sorry, hold on. Are you guys? How much less than 92 are you?
I'm 10 less.
Yeah,
I am 12 less.
yeah,
Then
Hassan?
92?
yeah.
24.
You're 24. So the total of all these results is 92 or less. You may so here's the thing, guys. Take 95 minus whatever your stat is, and then add those points to your characteristics.
Okay.
Because you guys are way below what is assumed to be the average here.
Well, it said
I don't think that's.
It says if the total of all these results is 92 or less, you may allot 3 more points to your characteristics as desired, meaning that a 95 in total is about what it should be. This is again like there's gonna be plenty of fucking ways to kill you guys. So
it says discard any adventurer whose characteristics average 12 or less. My average is 9.7.
So now got to start over with your grandparents. Here we go.
Yeah, so do this here. Let's just add. Yeah, here. Just go ahead, do the math, figure out what you're at right now, what the difference is between 95 total, and just add those stats as points as needed. Just know you can't be higher than 18.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, they may go higher than 18 in a moment, but you can't roll higher than that.
So 95 minus 68.
Yeah, and let me know once you guys have finished assigning those stats.
I am finished.
Okay. Okay. And then, so Jeff, let us know when you're done.
Just 1 second. I'm almost done because I'm only increasing a couple things.
Okay. Well, what we can do, though, is we can go now to your rune modifications. So, guys, take a look on page 53 and see what your primary elemental rune is and add +2 to one of those 2 attributes. Then look at your secondary elemental rune and add +1 to one of those 2. Charisma may only be chosen once for a bonus. And I think it should be on your character sheet. There's a thing for, where is it here? Is there a thing for elemental bonus?
And we are now allowed to go over 18, right?
That is correct, yeah.
All right. Hell yeah, I'm really smart.
Nice. Okay. And Sartar has no homeland. Go ahead, Jeff.
What was I supposed to do after that? Look at your ruins?
Take a look. Yeah, your runes, page 53.
Yeah.
So whatever your primary rune is, whatever you selected as your primary rune, you get +2 to one of those 2, and then you look at what your secondary rune is, and you get +1 to one of those.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
But you can only boost charisma once.
That's correct. Yeah. You can't just keep on getting more charming. Okay. Let's see here. Looks like George and Arlen, you guys have finished your rune modifications.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Jeff, you got yours. Okay, so guys, your magic points are equal to your current power. So go ahead and record that. I think, does the character sheet calculate your hit points automatically?
Yes, it looks like it.
Pretty fucking cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So we can
It
skip
calculates magic
that.
points as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Does it calculate your healing rate?
Yep. Heal rate.
Damage bonus?
SRM, size SRM, dex SRM, move rate. All seem to be calculated.
What about damage bonus? Is that calculated?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Spirit combat damage?
Spirit combat damage is calculated.
What about dex strike rank?
Yes.
And size strength rank?
Yep.
Fucking awesome. Okay, and then the skill modifier, you said those are all calculated as well? Like the things at the top there. There should be, here, let me take a look here. Skills.
Oh, yep. They're in there too.
Fucking cool.
Nice.
Oh, great sheets. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so that's a bunch of bookkeeping we don't have to do then. So that's pretty awesome.
Wait, should there be a modifier beside the, like, your characteristics?
No.
That's for something.
It's not like D&D where there's a plus whatever.
Right.
The modifier is something that would change your stat.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we've done the cultural stuff already because I jumped the gun. Next, guys, we're dealing with your occupation. What is your career? So careers start from page 64 and they go on to page 73. And the careers are assistant shaman, bandit, chariot driver, crafter, entertainer, farmer, fisher, healer, herder, hunter, merchant, noble, philosopher, priest, scribe, thief, or warrior. So knowing what your parents' professions were, what your most influential grandparents' profession is, it will be interesting to hear what career you guys go with. Who knows what their character's career is going to be?
Because I'm on this kind of mission of vengeance, I want to follow in the footsteps of my favorite grandparent and parent at being a hunter, so I can find my way into enemy territory and survive.
So the if you guys want to lean more heavily into the Sartar kind of like homeland theme, that it's listed on each of the careers what homelands are most likely to have that. Some of them are all.
Oh, interesting.
But Hunter is one specifically called out as Sartar.
Oh, good. Okay, cool.
Okay. Hunters kill wild animals for meat, sinew, horn, and hide. Hunters are experienced stalkers of mountain, wood, and plain, culling bison herds, systematically killing local predators, operating lines of traps for furs, and so on. Okay, so you take a look at your occupational skills there. And the ones that are in bold, those are the ones that will be used for your occupate or your earning an income phase during the seasonal phase.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's why those are bold. They've got your standard of living there, your basic income, and then the cults that are often favored by that, and then the favored passions. What does that do? You may pick one of those favored passions to have at 60% or increase it by 10. And it cannot be increased over 100% for your thing. And then you got your cultural weapons there. Yeah, so you can see what... yeah, how about Jeff and Arlen? Have you guys selected a career for your characters? And again, I'll refresh. I think Arlen knows this already, but again, remember, this is a Bronze Age setting. So this is not like... yeah, I mean, if you're thinking more...
Yeah.
What do you call it? It's more like the honestly, like my go-to is going to be for visualizing stuff is the Rome TV series from HBO.
Well, that might even be a little late because it's
a little late, but it's a closer. I mean, there's not a good equivalent of depicting the social interactions in a Bronze Age thing. You know, like there's not. I mean, there's 300, but that's absolutely not what we're going for in this.
Troy is
right.
I mean, it's not a good movie, but it's okay with some of that.
Yeah, it's for set dressing, absolutely. It's just also, but the thing is the reason I think Rome is better is because it focuses on the social interactions rather than just the fucking war.
Yep.
Right. And that's really what I want to focus on in this campaign is like yeah.
So speaking of focusing on social interactions, I think I'm going to be a scribe.
Oh, cool. So scribe, literacy in Glorantha is largely confined to a small elite of nobles, priests, and scribes. Scribes serve as the equivalent of common civil professionals, lawyers, teacher, bureaucrat, accountant, engineer, scholar, and so on, and are typically in the service of a knowledge temple or as part of a household of a ruler. Cool. Okay, so, and we went through, we picked one of those passions, get it at 6%, blah, blah, blah. And Lanker Me, they've got that as a highlight. Lanker Me is a super interesting god, too, so that's pretty cool. Jeff, does one of the occupations jump out for you?
I'm trying to decide between two.
What are the two?
So I'm leaning either entertainer. Asana has a high charisma, and so she kind of grew up on her own, so I don't know if she tried to survive by being entertaining.
Yeah.
Or I'm looking at philosopher. Her parents were both taken from her, and her grandma and her mom were both healers, and it cost them both their lives at a very young age. And
Ooh, and you start with sorcery then, too.
Yeah, which I'm kind of leaning towards.
So
Interesting.
the way that magic is sort of divided here, there's basically 4 different kinds of magic in RuneQuest. There's first of all, there's runic magic that all of you guys will have access to. So there's rune magic, which is big, powerful shit. It's working through the runes to cause them to go, and it's fueled by rune points that only recharge when you actually go and like pray at a temple or take part in some kind of ceremony or whatever. Like, it's one of the ways where the mechanics of the game really play up the setting.
Yeah.
You know, it's also like a mechanic way to look at it is if you were to compare daily abilities or things like that, like a more limited ability, that's what your rune spells are. Then, in addition to that, all characters will have access to one of 3 different types of magic. There's spirit magic, there's shamanic kind of stuff, and there's sorcery. Sorcery is very different from the other ones, and sorcery is kind of like you're not tapping into the spiritual realm or this, you know, working with the spirits. You are learning like basically cheat codes of the universe kind of stuff.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty perfect for being a 80%
thought
illusion.
Okay, so go ahead and mark your occupational skills, and again, the ones that are in black and italicized there, those are what you will use to earn your living.
Wait, okay, so occupational skills. So, oh, I see. Rewrite any plus 50%. Okay, I got that.
So when it says lore any plus 30, that means just pick one of the lore skills and add.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So I am going to do, Elder Race lore sounds real cool.
Interesting.
Let's do that.
I do love the Elder Race. I also, man, the elves in RuneQuest, or the way that what's named Corey illustrated the elves in this is so fucking cool, and it's so much cooler than, so much cooler than the previous things. Elves in previous versions kind of look just like standard, bog standard fantasy elves. The weird forest creatures or plant creatures that they are in this is just awesome.
Wait, so do I add sorcery spell 10% because it's not on the thing?
You do, yeah.
Not see it.
Well, you'll start with 3 sorcery spells. So when we get into magic and sorcery, we're not going to do that tonight because that will require you guys just to do a little bit of homework to figure out which ones. And because you will start
with knowledge skill.
Let's see here. I'm going to check sorcery and see if there's a flat percentage. I can't remember what you.
I just don't see that normal people don't seem to have it.
No, they don't. Okay, let's see here. Sorcery use. Each sorcery spell is a skill representing by the sorcerer's ability to precisely channel their psychic energy through the loci of the formula in exactly the right manner, order, manner, and combination to achieve the intended effects. Okay.
Oh, library use.
Okay, give me a second. Right, there's actually sample characters, and one of them is a sorceress. So we'll see what her skills are listed as. Where are you?
Oh, and when it says lore any plus 30%,
you pick a lore.
so like one of the ones that says elder race lore, celestial lore, animal lore, one of those things.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So sorcery spells. The spells themselves are listed in later in the book here. One sec. What you can do for now, Jeff, so you can get a chance to like, if you want to read them over to make your selection, just write down, spell plus 10%, or sorcery spell plus 10%, and then you got a sorcery spell plus 20% and a sorcery spell plus 10% as well.
It looks like there's 2. One of the spells is 20%, and 2 of them are 10%.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see how many steps we got left here. I got to run to the washroom very quickly here. And then, we don't have that many steps left. I'll be right back in 1 sec.
Yeah, once you're back.
I'll be back.
And then is there a way to delete? Do you guys have any ideas of what are good lores that are useful? I don't really.
So I would guess, what is your occupation?
I am a philosopher.
A philosopher. So, like, I picked Elder Race lore because I thought that sounded cool. But like cult lore or celestial lore might be really interesting.
Yeah, because I get a bonus of 1 of 30% and a bonus of another at 10%.
There's some, it might also, I don't know what you envision yourself doing, but like animal and plant lore seem like they would be pretty useful.
Right.
So, Arlen, you got a question?
Yes, I had a question. So, under scribe for base income, it says depends on the occupational skill used, and I gather that means that I support myself with one of my skills.
Yeah.
Is there anything should I just pick one of them, or is it a?
Yeah, whichever one fits for you.
Okay.
If you're using bureaucracy, I mean, like the penalty is that you're going to want to have high in that skill, so you pass your income roll, right? Now it means it's taking it away from some other stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I am good at reading and writing in my own language, so I'm gonna use that to make my money.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So it's 120 lunars. Okay, so then let me see here. So the only steps we need to do next, guys, there is the cult, which I think will take some time for you guys to go through and make your decisions. And then, let's see here. Then there's the personal skill bonuses where you get to buff some skills. And let me see what's this here. And then there's your birthday, movement, blah, 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 and gear. Okay, so, okay. Let's do this then. You know, the only thing that I think I want to give you guys an opportunity to consider what cult you want to be a member of, get your, pick your spells.
What's a favored passion?
You get a free passion for your stuff.
Yeah, you pick one of those and you either get it at 60% or you get plus 10% to an existing one.
So if my favorite passion is love wisdom, then that means I get it at 60%.
That's right. Yep. Yep. Okay. So then, yeah. So you guys will.
Should I pick one of these cults? Ken?
Well, that's the thing. I want you to have an opportunity to go through and kind of pick one of those.
Like
this is,
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like you'll want to, I think, consider which one you want to be the ones that are popular in Sartar. I would prefer that you guys pick one. Well, not I prefer. Pick one of the ones that's strong in Sartar. So it'll be Orlanth or Ernalda, or I think Humakti is one. What's her name? Is it Baba Gore? Something like that. Like there's quite a few you can pick from. It's just I'd rather them focus on the region, because that way you can interact with it's easier for you to get to the temples there. So the common cults are listed on page 24 for Sartar. And actually, you know what? No. Let's do that now. I mean, we'll just so you guys can pick. So the ones that are there, Orlanth is the storm god, storm king, god of farmers, warriors, and kings. There is Ernalda, who's the earth mother, earth queen. There's Babeester Gore, who I love, avenging daughter. This is basically the crazy, pissed off daughter of Ernalda, who guards all her temples with, a battle axe in each hand. There is Chalana Arroy. Chalana Arroy is the goddess of healing. There is Yermal, who I love, and Jeff, you may like him. Yermal is the trickster. He is a clever, like basically venerated by thieves and so forth. There is Humakt, who is the god of war and death. There is Issaries, who is the god of communication and trade. There's Lankar-Mi, who's the god of knowledge, lord of knowledge. There's Marangor, who is the earth shaker, god of earthquakes and earth destruction. I think that's he or she is a daughter. I think she is a daughter of Ernalda as well. There's the Storm Bull, who is the chaos killer, nemesis to chaos. And there is Yelmalio, who is the sun god of the frontier. So do any of those appeal to you guys in particular?
I think so.
Yeah. Like,
I
again,
think the Storm Bull.
Storm Bull, cool. Chaos god. Yeah, because you were a fucking enemy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. How about Hereward?
So I was thinking that Yelmalio sounds really cool.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
And is not just because the obvious choice would be Lankar-Mi, but Lankar-Mi is very cool too. But Yelmalio sounds like a sort of more interesting, off the beaten path way to go.
Yeah. Well, the neat thing with this particular game too is because of the way that you advance. It's really like it's what you do. If you want to be good at talking or interacting with people or learning or whatnot, then you do that in the game to try and make those skill tests and get the little check marks so you can try and advance them. Similarly, if you want to be good at fighting or you want to be good at defending yourself or whatever, you do that in the game, and you will, your characteristics will advance that way. You have to use things to get better at them.
Cool.
Wait, what?
That's cool. It's gonna be an interesting mix with Yelmalio because they one of their big things is that the cult survives by training and hiring out Sarissa armed soldiers as mercenaries.
Mm.
So it'll be an interesting contrast to, And I think actually Yelmalio is the one that starts with a Gias as well too.
Yes, an initiate may take a gift, and it's Gias from Yelmalio.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so as a philosopher, I'm supposed to choose Lankar-Mi, Seven Mothers, Alienism,
So Seven Mothers is for sure out. That's a lunar goddess.
or Invisible God.
Invisible God, I think, is one. Oh no, is Invisible God the one? Well, let's go with Lankar-Mi because Lankar-Mi is the one that's actually part of Sartar. Okay. So that's on page 76.
Kevin also says philosophers learn sorcery and start having mastered the understanding of one rune and one technique.
Yeah, you're going to have to take a look, and we will go through and talk about the sorcery, but the rules for sorcery are a bit, it's a bit complicated. So we'll talk through that. Okay. Really all you need to do is just pick one of the sorcery rules are on page, where is it here? Oop. Page 381.
Okay, first I'm just gonna finish this Lankar-Mi.
Yeah, and that's like the thing is that's why like we're not gonna be able to have like ready to play characters by the end of the character creation because you still need to pick your spells, you need to pick your whatever. Yeah. Just if we've got the general range of your characters. So then the personal skill bonuses, just be aware that you will also be able to add once you've finished everything. 25% to any 4 skills plus 10% to 5 more skills, and nothing can go over 100%. You don't need to do that now. I'll let you guys do that between now and when we play the first time. But what I am interested in rolling is your family heirloom. Because this stuff is cool. So who wants to roll first for their family heirloom?
Arlen.
Sure. I was actually. Can you go back to me because I'm doing my gifts and guesses for Yelmalio.
I'll go first.
Okay.
What am I rolling?
D20, please.
Okay, here we go. 1d20. 15. No, sorry.
No, that's mine.
That's 11.
Oh, 11. Ooh, you get a magic power storage crystal.
Oh, Kev, I can't hear Kev. Can you guys hear him?
I can hear Kev.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Shit, I don't know. I can't hear anything anymore. Come back to me, apparently.
Let's see here.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. There we go. Got it.
Got us back?
Okay, yes. Now I hear everything. Sorry. I got
Excellent.
11. What were you just
11, you got a magic power storage crystal that can hold up to 2d6 plus 3 magic points or serve as a spirit binding matrix. And you can read about that on page 249.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Vasana, you ready to learn about your family heirloom?
Sure.
Okay, give me a d20 roll, please. 11 again. Same thing. Well, if you're a sorcerer, that's actually not that bad. The magic power, like basically, power is what you use or your magic points is what you use to fuel your magic.
Yeah.
So this will be something that to store up your magic. That's pretty cool. So it is a magic power storage crystal that can hold up to 2d6 plus 3 magic points or serve as a spirit binding matrix. You can trap spirits in them and get them to do things. Like that's basically what magic items are in this, is they've got some kind of spirit trapped in them.
Do we roll that 2d6 plus 3 right away or no?
You do, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Then I'll tell you what your matrix size is.
Oh, I can do that too.
Okay, big money, big money, big money.
Holy crap, if I could just actually
There's
type.
me. I got a 10.
10. Okay, that's pretty cool. And Jeff got
I typed it wrong.
Oh, you had the full stop in front there.
Oh my goodness.
Incidentally, Jeff George said that Jeff's choice of drink for the night is the greatest running bit. 12, pretty good. All right, now Hereward, give me a d20 roll, please. 14. A necklace worth 2d6 times 100 lunars containing a 2-point spirit matrix for glamour 2.
Cool.
That is pretty fucking cool. Yeah, wow.
600 lunars and 2-point spirit magic matrix for glamour 2.
For glamour 2. Nice. Glamour 2. The spell increases your charisma by 8.
Wow.
And increases the spirit combat damage by 1 step. Increases all communication skills by plus 10%, and increases all magic skills depending on what the final result is.
Where on the character sheet do we record this?
I don't see it. I just was looking at myself.
It's got to be under.
You think it'd be under family, but I'm not seeing it.
It's in the main stuff here. Magic points and storage is on the first page. Sorcerer's runes and techniques, magic notes, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where you put that.
Oh,
that's where you put that.
One other thing I see is that you should have a starting reputation of 5. And if you have a crappy occupation, you get nothing else. If you have a free occupation, you get plus 5 to that. And if you have a noble occupation, you get plus 10 to that. And that should add to whatever you rolled up during the grandparents and parents thing.
Perfect. Okay. Now, guys, I will leave it to you to select your rune magic. Now, just so you understand, you start with 3 points of 3 rune magic points dedicated to that. And let's see here. You learn all common rune spells known by that cult, and then you gain choose 3 special runes available to that cult, and you've got those as well.
Cool.
We're not going to bother with any of you guys sacrificing any extra power to get more just yet for these guys. Next characters, you may be able to do that. Sure. So that'll give you a chance to do that, and then and for yours, each of you guys, Hereward and Jarang, you guys will learn spirit magic. You have sorcery, Vasana, so you're going to pay attention to the sorcery you gain from your cult. And yeah, and then you get another favorite passion from your rune. Common rune magic is listed on page 74 in addition to whatever other stuff you get. And we'll talk about rune magic and sorcery and stuff like that in the next time we get together.
Cool.
We'll start learning because yeah, like it's easier to see it in play. But you can find the rune magic is found later in the book in one section, and then magic or spirit magic or sorcery is found in another one. Just remember, if your spirit magic is your power times 5 is what your percentage chance of casting spirit magic is. Rune magic is the actual rune. So you're going to want to, when you pick your runic spells, you're going to want to judge that based on what your rune stats are.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So like if you have ass in, say, the, earth rune, you might not want to pick a runic spell that has that. Although if it has more than one, I think you get to pick the higher one, the higher of the two when you try and activate it.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So you don't need to worry about, yeah, you choose which one. So if you've got like, a great score, if it's an earth and darkness spell or an earth and, man spell, then, and you've got 75 in man and you've got 40 in earth, you roll against 75.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And then, yeah, and that's in you, Jeff, just to be clear too, you have rune magic as well as sorcery. The rune magic is that it's assumed that in this game, you guys have devoted yourself to a certain point in the cult. And one neat thing that this, and this is a tradition going back at least a couple of editions in Runequest, but in order to learn like more badass magic and stuff like that, you have to increase your ranking in your church. Like you can't just, yeah. So it's cool that it forces you to interact with the what do you call it, the fiction, in order to get your stats up and stuff like that. You don't just level up and suddenly learn new spells. You have to do stuff in the fiction in order to do that. Jeff, this is actually when you and I talked before about Mithras. Mithras is basically Runequest 6th edition, and that's what that's what I really loved about that. It was so neat that like, well, yeah, if you want to go and learn, a more advanced spell, you can do that. You just have to, go and please the Sorcerer's Guild of whatever the fuck, right? And that's what it does in this, is you can look at your cult, and that's the different spells and stuff like that you can develop. So, or different spells and runic spells, sorceries, and spirit magic. So pretty cool. Does it feel like you know your characters now?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's super fun to do, but like a story is already occurring to me, not only for my own personal character, but how the three of us might know each other and how we're going to interact. And we have very different characters, which is cool.
Yeah.
From all the random rolling, but we have intersection points.
Well, and we'll talk about what tribe you guys are from. What we'll do is we'll blue book it and we'll kind of like correspond about that. Because that's good, and it's gonna be interesting too. Because we've got at least 2 or 3 other people who are joining who want to make characters too.
That's great.
So it'll be cool to see them go in too. Yeah, that's so. You guys understand what homework you have for finishing up, like dotting the I's, crossing the T's with your characters?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Excellent. Then maybe what we'll do is let's do this, guys. Let's end with you guys giving an introduction. If you were to describe your character fresh to say one of our, actually, this is going to be lazy me. Let's do this, guys. Give a brief description of your character, where they're from, what really influenced them, what they do as a profession, who they worship, so that the guys who join the campaign later, the folks who join the campaign later, I can just say, look at the last 10 minutes of the session. You'll see who these characters are. So, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, there you go. See, George was going to say Arlen go, but
no. See, I was going to, but this time I decided I always do that to Arlen.
Nice,
so I will. Exactly. So I'm Jurang. My family history, most of it is very noble, but I have some dark elements to my past that I try to keep hidden because it's a blemish on the family name. I'm from Sarder, and I'm from a line of hunters. And one of the most influential people in my life was my my mother, who fought in the Hortland campaign, but was killed by the Crimson Bat itself. So therefore he hates the Lunars, and especially any beast of chaos. And so therefore he follows the cult of the Storm God, or he's part of the cult of the Storm God, Stormbow, and which is the Chaos Killer. And as part of the cult, he is required to investigate any chaos that he detects anywhere. And in fact, he's got the ability.
Oh.
Yeah, is that bad?
No. I was thinking of something like this. This is so perfect for me because the Storm Bull, it says canonically, the Storm Bull manifests as different things in different regions. And in some regions, it manifests as like an auroch, kind of like a big, kind of primitive bull. But in our campaign,
Gonna be a bison.
manifests as a bison. Hell yeah!
Awesome. Perfect.
Sky
Perfect.
bison.
And so, in fact, he has an ability to sense chaos. So that he got from his cult. And so his objective is to try to hunt down, using his normal skills that he makes a living with, to hunt down any form of chaos wherever he detects it, and destroy it at all costs, even if it kills him, because he has such loyalty to his family and such hatred of chaos.
Nice. Yeah, so your whole family's dead, right?
Oh,
What you guys
I
can
have
do?
one. I have one surviving person, but also I forgot. But I'm also afraid of dragons.
Yeah.
So it's going to be.
Yeah, who wouldn't? Multi-kilometer long dragon.
That's right.
Just,
Seriously, yeah.
coming up out of the ground.
Yeah.
Jeff, if you were to introduce Vasana.
Vasana is a young woman who comes from a line of healers. Her mother and her grandmother were both healers, but they were both taken from her and from the world in sort of at very young age. And so she came to sort of question why the gods would take away someone who had devoted their life to just helping and healing other people. And so she sort of went down this path where she became a philosopher and started questioning everything about reality. And this sort of led her down a path of darkness and illusion. And she's trying to sort of reshape the world into her own image instead of the image, instead of what it is.
Yeah.
What else can I tell you about her? All of her passions are pretty. She's very loyal to the Sartar. She also has a fear of dragons. She hates a couple of the local things. So she hates the Lunar Empire. She hates some other Sartar tribe, and she hates some other Sartar clan as well.
Okay.
So she's got some enemies in the close area and the greater area of the game that she probably would like some vengeance on.
Nice.
Cool.
And what about Hereward?
So Hereward, he is a young man. He's a scribe, but he doesn't exactly look like a scribe. If you looked at him, you would guess a warrior. He's big and he's strong, and he has this kind of burning intelligence in his eyes, and he comes from a line of intelligentsia almost for this Bronze Age world. He has a deep hate for the Lunar Empire and for trolls. And he is torn in his love of Yelmalio, his god, and his tribe, and Argen Argarth, the White Bull, who is a sort of growing force in the world. He in exchange for learning the gifted skills with a bow from his god Yelmalio, he never eats the meat of anything but birds.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Awesome.
And I think that's about it for him. He's he has one surviving parent. His father is an assistant shaman who is still alive. His mother died when he was very young.
Interesting.
And we might assume that has sort of shaped him. And
Yeah. I
wonder.
think he's likely. That's interesting because with your profession would be certainly more of an urban calling, whereas the shaman's likely to be more of something a little more rural.
Yes.
Cool. That's
Awesome.
I mean, with the tumult in the Dragon Pass over the past 20 years, it's unsurprising that some of you guys just end up in very different places from your parents, and it's interesting that some of you followed through on their parents' career path as well too. So that's going to be pretty awesome. One thing to consider between now and the next session too, because this is a humanocentric world as well, feel free to think about who you would cast in the film version of this to help with the kind of a mental shorthand for what the characters look like. And also, as you're picturing your character, bear in mind that tattooing is a very big thing amongst Sartar tribesmen in terms of like identifying clan and whatnot too. And that's the way of like at a glance knowing where someone is from.
Well, and there's a description about how if you have a rune at like 80 or higher, that might have had some physical effects to the way you look.
Yeah.
So if you're high in air, or in my case high in fire, I think you can probably see that in his face, that he's got that kind of energy to him.
Cool.
Excellent.
Oh, I just wanted to add something real quick.
Yeah.
Heward and Vasana might know each other through his sort of limited diet and being almost a vegetarian, because Vasana took plant lore as her like main her main way of making money.
Okay.
And so he may approach her to find which plants are good to eat to sort of keep such a big person like him healthy with a limited protein diet. So that might be a character connection there.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Cool. So then what I'm going to do then, guys, my homework will be is I'm going to roll up some family backstory for you guys too, because I want to kind of, again, I want to set you guys in a place where there's physical connection. Even though your parents are dead and whatnot too, you tend to have a pretty big extended family, and that's part of what I want to play up in this. But I think it'll be more interesting to, rather than having a checklist that we all are aware of, and then you're like, well, how come we're not dealing with so-and-so? I'll do that behind the scenes, and then just what seems to make sense for the story or for where we're going in the thing, we'll just introduce those as needed.
That's great.
Oh, I don't know if Amy agrees with that. Hold on.
That was your alarm clock. You're done. That's cool. That sounds great.
Yeah. Jeez. She had chemo treatment today, and
oh no,
it's keeping her down.
Yeah, wow, I can imagine.
No, it's that's good. I mean, like, it's better than the
okay. Well, true. Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So
yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, this was pretty fucking cool. Like, Jeff,
it is really fun.
I know that you've gone through Traveler before too. How does this compare to that? Does it feel similar or what?
Yeah, it's quite similar. I like the parental backstory.
Definitely.
I wish there was a little more options for the yourself than like the way it went, but it was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
It was good. It led to helping to figure out the character very well.
Definitely, yeah.
I definitely enjoy these kind of session zeros more than just like make your character at home and everybody shows up and it's like
absolutely.
And we all get to know each other's characters as it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to get out of the stream here and we'll make with our outro. So that was pretty awesome. So let's see here. Let me get wrong thing. Close that. Oh, I'll stop streaming copyrighted TV show. I'm gonna go back to watching that as soon as we're finished while I do my drawing. But for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for this session 0 character creation session for Runequest Glorantha. I'll change the description of the video to include a link through to Chaosium as well too, if you do want to check out more about Runequest, because it is a really neat game. But as always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session or the setting, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. As I said at the outset too, like, we really are intent on making this Runequest Glorantha our own. So again, like, if we got stuff that is, quote unquote wrong as far as Gloranthan lore and whatever else goes, if you want to make a suggestion to try and help us figure out what our version of Glorantha is going to look like, that's awesome. I'd love to hear that stuff, especially for people who have more experience with it. But nitpicking on canon, that's going to get deleted because it's not helpful. It's not constructive, not helpful at all. But Anyway, other than that, though, if you do have questions about the character creation system or about what we went through here or the decisions the characters made, leave a comment in the comment section and one of us will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, or you can reach me by email at dungeonmusings@gmail.com. That's dungeonmusings@gmail.com, not at with another same in it. I got to figure out a better way of saying that. In addition, you can find me on the Dungeon Musings podcast, which you can find on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Stitcher, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean, whatever. There's pretty much anywhere you can get your podcast. You can find me. On there, I generally talk about the campaigns we're running or about more like game philosophy kind of stuff or game design kind of thoughts. So you can find that there, or game theory is the word I'm struggling to try and find. You also can find in the link, in the description of this video, you can find a link to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign that we are running on the channel. Right now, we just finished up our charity raffle. So the only rewards that are available there are some things to do with games, but I am going to revamp that within the next month or so to have some new rewards on there. So any money that is donated to that campaign goes to benefit SOS Children's Villages, which is international, which is a really terrific charity that is active in over 130 countries, helping over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children. It's a really great charity, and any money that is donated, again, goes directly to them to help SOS Children's Villages, help the kids that they benefit. You can learn all about the campaign and about SOS Children's Villages International through that link. And again, within at the time of recording, there's not a huge amount of different. There's some options that are in there, like giving hero points to players and things like that. But I'm going to revamp that within the next month to have some more interesting options in there as well. But last but not least, I want to thank my players. So, Arlen, George, Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today, guys, to go through this character creation. This was easily as cool as it was when we did it the first time. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting these characters in some trouble. So thanks, guys.
Same here. No, that was fun. Thanks for setting that up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Cool. Well, then, with that, then, guys, I will say to those listening at home, again, thank you so much for watching. And, last thing, if you enjoyed this session, to be sure to hit subscribe to be sure to know when our new sessions are coming up. We will be starting to stream this game in the next month or so. No, 2 months about. We're still creating characters and getting things ready. So around September is when we're going to be bringing these characters to the table. If you want to know when we're going live, so you can catch us on one of the live games, be sure to hit the bell icon as well. Other than that, thanks again, folks. And until next time, happy gaming.